Hey there everybody, this is Caitlin here, aka Scribble Sketch, and today for you guys I have finally the unboxing that I'm going to do for Pandora's Tower, which if you guys saw my Play Expo vlog, you know that I picked this up while I was at Play Expo. I decided to do the kind of opening slash review thing in a separate video because I didn't want that video to end up being too long, and I wanted to give this kind of collector's edition its own little video because I feel like I've done that with all my previous kind of collector's editions. I've given them the due where I've given them their own video, so I feel like I deserve to do it with this one. So I guess we're going to check out all of what's inside. Now, I don't remember when this game was actually published, obviously published during the highlight of the Wii era. Feels pretty weird that, you know, like, we went from the Wii to the Wii U, and I'm pretty sure, like, the Wii U has like maybe one of the smallest library of games in Nintendo's history. Might be just a little bit more than the GameCube, but I'm not entirely sure. So kind of opening it up here, I can see a steelbook by the looks of it. So let's slide everything out and then we'll check out what's inside. So by the looks of it here, we have ourselves the actual game box, which is, it's so weird because I'm so used to like kind of opening up PS4 or Nintendo Switch ones. It's been a while since I've actually like held a Wii box in my hand. I mean, I still have a couple of my Nintendo Wii games, but it's kind of weird seeing it here now. So this is neat. So we have the actual game here, and I believe we have ourselves a steelbook. Ooh, this steelbook looks very nice. So this is the steelbook featuring some gorgeous artwork here. It's kind of sad because like I really prefer the steelbook over the actual game case. Let me double check here what's inside. So, oh, okay, so here's the inside. I think, is this the instruction manual? Because it looks like it came with everything that's in here. Hold on, I'm gonna try and like slide this out without kind of ripping into or anything. I don't want anything to break. Oh god, everything's falling off. My apologies here. Oh, you know how old this game is because it actually comes with Nintendo points in the actual booklet, which I don't think you can actually redeem anymore. I'm pretty sure like the cutoff point for them has already passed. So I guess we've just got that code forever now. But we have the little, this feels really weird. It's like a weird texture on this booklet. So I guess this is just a generic kind of tutorial book, which you don't really get these in games nowadays. Usually you have your tutorial in the game. You don't even get these, like, oh, this is like a little kind of pamphlet thing talking about some of the characters and some of the backstory. You definitely don't get this with like most modern day games, telling you about the saving feature and everything, and you know, a little booklet about Nintendo Wii. So you can tell how old this game actually is because we've actually got that stuff inside the box. Let me slide it back in here so we can keep it out of the way so I don't lose any of it, because I want to keep this stuff. Even if like the voucher code, you can't redeem it for Nintendo points anymore, I still want to keep it because it's kind of like remembering an era that is far gone. So we have a steelbook and we also have the actual OG version of the game, which actually let's take a look at the disc. Ooh, the disc looks actually quite nice there. Check it out there, Pandora's Tower. I actually really want to can't wait to play this game. I still have my Nintendo Wii like hooked up over in my gaming area, which I was talking about the last time I was recording for my Play Expo vlog. But let's see what this is. I'm gonna assume, is this like a, is it, oh okay. This seems to be just like an extended version of the book that was inside the steelbook, except this one is in multiple languages. So this looks like the exact same thing, but it's beefed up with multiple languages. So I thought this was an art book, or well, this is actually the art book here. So for what you get in this, you get the steelbook, you get the game, and you also look like you get like a little mini art book here. It's kind of neat. It reminds me a little bit similar to the Fire Emblem Awakening art book in that it's kind of like a really small one, quite thin, not like as beefy as maybe a couple like modern day kind of art books would have. But this kind of reminds me a lot of like the Nintendo like DS/3DS and the Wii era, in that the art books weren't really that like thick, or they weren't really like that kind of big. Usually you'd have to wait for like a different art book in order to like see the grand scale of some things. Although I will say my art book for Bravely Default, if I remember, if you go way back on my channel, that's probably one of the earliest things I reviewed. That one had a really decent art book, I remember. So we've got a couple of neat kind of artworks here of some of the main characters, none of which I really know too much about here, but of course I'm going to be diving into the game soon enough. We've got some cool artwork here. It's really not a lot in this art book, but for what is inside it, it does look very nice. We've also got like a couple of enemies and stuff like featured in here. Don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it's like kind of quite thin. Again, I would say that probably art books nowadays, they have probably a lot more content, I feel like. This reminds me a lot, obviously, of the Fire Emblem Awakening art book. Although, I don't know if I've ever showed you guys, I do actually own a copy of the kind of really beefy, the really beefy Japanese version of the art book. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was called Elysian Nights or something like that. I'll need to maybe find it in my storage or whatever and bring it out and show you guys, because I don't think I've reviewed this on the channel yet. But that's the art book here, and pretty much that's everything that comes with it. So for what you get for this, so I paid about, I think I paid 40 or was it £30? I can't remember how much I paid for it now. But for that, we got ourselves the art book, we got a lovely steelbook, and we got the game itself. So sometimes I would say I compare it to other limited editions. I feel it's a little bit unfair to compare this to modern ones, because bear in mind it was for a Nintendo Wii title, which like we've got like so many like better special editions nowadays for like PS4, Nintendo Switch and stuff, so I feel like it's a little bit unfair to compare it to those ones where this was like out in a different kind of era. I say it's a different kind of era, it was like the early 2000s. It's like, hey, it wasn't that long ago, but then I feel like, oh, I'm nearly 25. It feels forever ago when the Nintendo Wii was like the hottest console that Nintendo had. It feels very strange, but I have to say, probably maybe my favorite thing out of this limited edition would have to be the steelbook. The steelbook is very nice. I'm usually hit or miss with steelbooks sometimes, where like sometimes I really like them. Like I adore my Persona 5 steelbook that you see right there. And then there was some where I wasn't too keen on. I believe one of the ones I wasn't as keen on was the Xenoblade Chronicles X one. I really didn't like that steelbook for some reason. I don't know what it was, or maybe it was just the game that ended up disappointing me that made me not like the steelbook as much. But this steelbook is actually very nice, especially with the artwork they decided to feature on the front there. I think it's big sexy, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to try this game out, and maybe I'll give you guys a little review later on. Not quite sure, just depends on when I can actually pick up and play this game, because I have a lot of stuff going on that I need to actually get ready for and things like that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It was probably a bit shorter because there wasn't obviously as much inside the special edition as I maybe thought there would be. Kind of wish that it came with the soundtrack. I assume that it's going to be having a pretty awesome soundtrack. But alas, there's no soundtrack to be seen. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know, guys, if you've ever played this game. What are your thoughts on it? If you think there's something similar to it, or there's another kind of game in the likeness to it that I should pick up and maybe try, please be sure to leave it in the comment down below. I'm always open to suggestions from you guys, especially for video games, because I love video games, as you know from this channel, where we've played and I've reviewed all sorts of them, especially the ones with the spicy limited editions and everything. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I will see all of you. This video was made possible thanks to patrons such as Craig McCutcheon and Neko-Senpai.